You can't have an interactive demo without screen captures. And screen captures are those individual snapshots that you take of your product and then piece together to create your interactive demo in something like Navattic. Now in Navattic, the most popular type of screen capture is referred to as an HTML capture. And that means it's capturing the underlying code of your page. It's taking a real snapshot of the page itself, not just a static image. And because of that, you can actually make edits to the page after the fact. You can edit tables, you can edit text, you can remove sections from the page, and it's all really easy to do. And so what I'm gonna do in this video is walk you through a simple 101 level tutorial on how to go about capturing screens in Navattic and then editing those so you can create the perfect experience for your demo. All right, let's get to it. All right, I'm in Navattic, and the first thing I'm gonna do is click on Create New Demo. Now you can start a demo in a few different ways. One is by creating new captures, and that's what I'm gonna focus on in this demo. But if you have existing screens, whether they're images or videos, you can upload those and start with that. You can also copy from an existing demo, and then generating with an interest form is actually a different type of demo where people can select their level of interest in different features, and then you can take them down different paths based on that. We're not gonna focus on any of these other versions. Right now, we're focusing on creating new captures from scratch. Now, it's gonna ask you what type of demo you're creating. There are narrated demos where you can essentially talk, record a video, and it will automatically build a narrated demo for you. There's also sandbox demos, which aren't a step-by-step guided flow. It's more of dropping people into a sandbox environment, letting them click wherever they want. But for this video, we're gonna focus on the good old-fashioned interactive demo. And then you're gonna wanna put in the URL of your app. And so for me, I wanna do a demo of the PMM Jetpack, so pmmjetpack.com. For you, it might be app.whatever your URL is.com. Just put in the simple one, and that's gonna open up your app with the extension already loaded so you can get in there and start capturing. The last thing here is Copilot. Now, Navattic has their own AI assistant. They call it Copilot. It can help you write the first draft of your demo. So all you have to do is start clicking through your product, and Copilot will actually then write the copy, build out the steps for you, put in button copy for you, all that stuff. I'm gonna toggle that off for now. We're not gonna use Copilot because I just wanna show you how to capture screen captures in Navattic. So we're gonna click on Start Capturing. And now it's opened up my product, and you can see that the Navattic extension is loaded in. So now I'm ready to start capturing screens in my product. By the way, if you don't have the Chrome extension installed yet, make sure you do that. Just go to Google, type in Navattic extension. It's the one here right at the top. Make sure you install it in your Chrome browser, or if you use Arc like I do, install it there. And you go use this extension to capture screens in your product. Okay, now I'm in my product and I'm ready to start capturing screens. You're always gonna know the Navattic extension is ready to go, and you see it here in the bottom middle of the page, this little box down here. Now, if you wanna get it out of the way, you can move it to different areas. Just hover over the bottom half of the box. You'll see the little hand, and that means you can drag it around. I'm just gonna leave it at the bottom. I like having it there. And now I'm ready to start capturing. There are a few different ways you can initiate a capture of a page. Now, you can see the little hint text here. It says press Shift plus click. So if I wanna hold Shift and I just wanna click anywhere on the page, that is gonna trigger a screen capture. You can see it. It pops up right here. I'll click on that in a sec and show you the inside. Or you can just do Control C. So if I hit Control C, that'll capture what's on the page as well. You can also just hit this capture button, but you'll see there's a drop down here. And there are a few different ways or different settings for how you're going to capture captures of your product. So if you want to do the web captures, or what I referred to before as HTML captures, that's when you're capturing the underlying code of the page. You can either do it manually, which is through those three different ways I just showed you, but you can also do click to capture. And what that means is that I can click through my product. So I can just, as I'm clicking, I don't even have to think about, do I want to capture this page or not? And as long as I'm just clicking through my product, all of these screen captures are being taken. So now if I want to go down here and I want to go back to manual, I can see I have 4 screen captures in total. Also, when you look in this dropdown, there's also the media capture type. So that's when I want to capture different things other than the HTML or the web captures. So I can do a screenshot, which takes a snapshot, a screenshot, like an image of that page. I can have it where I just click and again, click to capture a screenshot, or video. And that's where I can record little video snippets. So if I want to show what the flow is like doing maybe a couple of different clicks and have that as a video step, I can do that too. So you have lots of options to create these really, in-depth or rich experiences that might include an HTML capture in one step, an image in the other, and then a video in another. All right, one last thing I want to show you here in the extension is how you can actually edit steps right from the extension itself. So we can see that all of these captures that I'm starting to collect of my product, if I click on any one of those, I'm then able to edit some things without even leaving this page in my product. So I can decide what type of step this will be used in, whether it's a modal, a tooltip, whether I just want it to show as the capture only. I can also add the step text. So if I want to, as I'm capturing screens, write the full step text myself, I can do that. I can also just start to write in notes, and then I can polish it up later once I get into the demo in Navattic. So all those options are here. When I'm done, I can save and continue on and keep going through the product and gathering those different snapshots of the product that I want to use in building my demo. Once I've gathered them all, and I'm going to stop here, when I'm ready then to move into Navattic and start using these captures to build a demo, I just come down here and I click Finish. And what happens now is all of these captures are brought into Navattic and added to this new untitled demo at the top of the page. I click into that, and right away I can see that I have a new capture collection, and it has those 4 captures that I took of my product. All right, now I'm gonna show you how easy it is to edit these captures in Navattic. So I'm gonna click on any one of these, hit the black edit button in the top right corner, and now I'm ready to start editing this page. And that's the beauty of the HTML screen captures, is that now I can edit it. It's not a static image. And so I'm using Navattic's inline editor. So you can see as I hover over different elements of the page, it's just telling me I just need to click it to edit it. So let's start off with something simple like text. I can change this tagline at the top of the page or the page description. I can change the formatting of it. I can make it bold. I can make it italic. I can choose none of those things. Maybe I want to edit the text itself. I can just remove the word published. You can rewrite the descriptions on your page. You can rewrite the title. You can change any text. So if there's wording that you want to change, it's really easy to do after the fact. All right, that's text. Now let's look at something a little bit more advanced. I want to show you one of the cool editing features. This one is using AI. So if I wanted to change the background color of all these labels, instead of doing it one by one and going into the code, I could just edit with Copilot, and I'm going to say, change the background color of all these topic tags to light blue. Pretty neat, right? You could start to get the idea of how easy it is to make larger edits, things that might be a bit more complex or out of your skill set as someone who might not know how to change code on a page, because you can change the underlying code. You can edit the HTML of anything on this page, but we're not developers necessarily. And so using the edit with Copilot option gives us a lot more options than we had before. There are also what Navattic calls magic editors. And so you could see, if you just click on this little, it looks like a magic wand, you'll see all the different magic editors. Some of my favorites are Find and Replace, which I use when I want to update. It could be a word on the page. Maybe instead of saying tools, I want to say resources from now on, right? Or widgets. And I can say anywhere you see tools, change it to widgets. Very simple, but it comes in handy so many times. Up to date, if you have a table, and in that table maybe are like publish dates or anything that might give away the fact that you did a capture months ago, but you want your demo to look current, like you created it yesterday. You can update all dates in your captures to be current, like they were captured the day before. And then the other one is Table AI. This is one of my favorite ones too. A lot of times we have tables in our screen captures that have messy data or a bunch of null data and zeros. You can ask Table AI, again, using just simple language, to make updates to that table for you, whether you want to update all the zeros with different numbers and make that table look like what it should look like. All right, 2 other things I want to show you in this editor. One is the blur effect. So if I click the 3 dots here to see more options, I can see a number of other things I can do to edit this page. One is blur. So if there's, say, sensitive data I want to show on this page or don't want to show on this page, I just click blur. I can then just use this dial to blur it to whatever degree I want. And now I don't have to show, it could be sensitive customer data that I just don't want to show in my demo, and I can blur that part of the page. The other one is hide. Now, a lot of times in your screen captures, there could just be things that clutter the page, things that don't need to be there. They're not necessary for people to understand your product, and all they do is just distract them. You can actually just remove those things so people don't have to see them. So let's say I wanted to remove this Jetpack Live button. I'll just hit hide. Cool. No one will see that now. All right, the last thing I want to show you now is how easy it is to save these and apply it to the whole collection. Because you're probably looking at this and saying, okay, cool, you've made 18 edits to this page. What happens now to all of the other captures? Because a lot of these things might carry over to different pages of your site. The nice thing is that if you click on this dropdown next to save, you can save all of the changes you've made, and then you can apply them to the whole collection. So instead of having to do this multiple times, I can see that, okay, this applies to multiple different captures that I have, and I can, in one sweeping motion, I can make all those changes across the entire collection. That is gonna make it so much easier for you to be able to update your demos, keep your captures looking great, but also looking current, and not having to do it capture by capture by capture. So hopefully that gives you a simple 101 overview. That was my goal here, to give you an introduction into capturing all the captures you need to build your demos in Navattic, but also how easy it is to edit those and create the perfect snapshot of your product so you can build really great interactive demos. So if you do have any questions about this stuff, just shoot me a note on LinkedIn and I'm happy to help you out. All right, cheers.